right, we move on. So this is all about rethinking engagement. So naturally, many things have changed. Last year, March 2020, something came up. We all know what that was, and it changed everything that we do and the way we do things as well. So things have changed, we can agree on that, but really, what does this change actually bring? That's really the question. And how can you really define how has really the engagement, how has that changed as well? Are leaders still the ones in charge of engagement, and from which perspective? Just a couple of questions to ask yourselves before our next speaker shares her perspective and really gives you insights on really how that has changed and moved forward. So please welcome to the stage right now, the virtual stage, Head of Talent Management and Learning and Development at Nice, Anja Mucenski. Anja, I can feel you coming through.
Yes, I am. Hello, Peter.
Wonderful. Anja, I do have to say, what a wonderful stage you have. What a wonderful studio you are in. It's beautiful to see you actually, and also naturally the studio as well. And I'm sure you'll be able to share with us now more insights on rethinking and shaking up engagement. So over to you. Remember, at the end of this, I'll pop back in and share with you some of the questions, the burning questions that our audience actually has. So over to you, Anja.
Thank you. Looking forward to. Hi, everybody. I would just like to present my presentation, hopefully. But before that, first of all, Peter, thank you for a beautiful introduction. Hi, everybody. My name is Anja Mucenski. One important moment while I was preparing for today, I was thinking a lot about the change and the challenge and the purpose and a lot of other things. And what came to my mind is dance, cha-cha-cha. And why this dance? Because cha-cha-cha is a mix of mamba and rumba, and it's a very energetic and passionate dance. So this dance only achieves its true purpose when danced with the passion. So this really reminded me of this topic, and I will tell you why in a minute. So everything is change, challenge. We heard from great speakers earlier this morning that we have a global recession, like for the first time in the decades. Also that everything has challenged. So basically the economy is challenged, the health is challenged, the well-being, the jobs, and what World Bank is saying that extraordinary measures would be needed in order for us to recover in the next decade. But what is the third cha in this dance? Well, it's a chance. And why it's a chance? Because very known from developmental psychology that every crisis is an opportunity for further development. And I honestly believe that this moment is really the opportunity for businesses, for leaders, for employees, and also for HR to step back, to listen, and to hear, and to really make some changes which are really needed for the employees and for the overall communities. And why this is important? Because the power has shifted, and it's shifted from the organizations to people, and from me to we, and from profit to mutual prosperity. And that is really important to have in mind when we are talking about this. And just for a brief moment, I know that we will be talking a lot during this day about this topic, but it's crucial. So basically, let's step back and think about what is really influencing the productivity and effectivity and the engagement itself. So some are saying that we are in a burnout crisis, and some, let's say, very respectable analyses are saying that, for example, at the beginning of this year, Harvard Business Review discovered that majority of people, and we are talking about 86% of the people are struggling with everyday and work well-being. And also what is important, that the mental health is declining, and that there is increased job demands, and etc. And what happened during the year, that the Gallup revealed his global workforce report, saying that we are at the moment facing the huge increase in stress, which is 43% of the people reported that they have high level of stress during the day. And that is for the first time, the biggest increase in 12 years from time when the Gallup started with this report. So everything is saying that the resilience of workforce and the people globally is in test. And also what we are seeing at the past 6 months is a great resignation, which is obviously something which must happen in this kind of situation. But what really is happening is huge impact on organization in terms of employee health, engagement, performance, and retention. And what really happened with engagement is that the engagement fell to 20%, which basically means that globally, and this is the research done on 116 countries, this research is showing to us that 80% of people last year were actively disengaged or disengaged. And this is huge. And this is huge not only from the perspective that this is costing global economy a lot of money, approximately 10% of GDP, which is something like 8 trillion US dollars, but this has a huge impact on productivity, on innovation, on organizational change, on everything. What struck me also is one data I found, which is saying that 90% of the leaders believe that their engagement strategy is influencing their business, but barely 25% of them have the engagement strategy. So what is really happening? Like when we are talking about the employee engagement, we are talking about the work itself. And when we are talking about the well-being, it includes the work itself, but also includes all other experiences. And that is very important because this year showed us more than each previous year how important is what happens outside of the work on the work itself. Because apart from career well-being, do I love what I do? There is social well-being. Do I have meaningful relationships in my life? Where do I live? Do I like where I live? Also, do I manage my money well? And do I have the energy to do things done and to get things done? And what is the new insight is that there is a new measure of the organizational success, which is basically employee engagement and thriving well-being. And that is hugely important because, like, if you want to create a culture in which employees are engaged and they are thriving, you need more than a policy. You need leaders because, as we know from the past, managers are accountable for 70% of teams' engagement. But now we need leaders who must be thriving and prioritizing managers' well-being in order for them to pull the people, individual contributors. What is also very important is that leaders are those who need to create the culture where well-being will be a part of everyday life. And also, I honestly see this as a call for employers to address key issues like lack of trust, like stress, like well-being also. What is also important that I see this as a very important call for leaders to recognize the importance of employee engagement and well-being on overall resilience, because some newest researchers are saying that the future-proof companies will not be valued only by if they can generate the profit, but also if they have power to generate people who are resilient and who can overcome the stressful situations. So the question is, who is today engaged employee? Today, an engaged employee is also the employee who is involved in, who is emotionally committed to the company and its goals. And it's a person who is going above and beyond. And literally, it's a person, he or she, going an extra mile. But what really happened is that now we have a second perspective that really employees want more relational aspects of work, and they expect from the employers to invest in more human aspects of work. And there is a beautiful study done by McKinsey, which is saying that employers are really not aware of what is really important for the employees themselves. But employees are saying we want renewed but clear sense of purpose. We want sense of belonging and shared identity. We want to be valued by our companies and by our managers, and also we want to have an opportunities for development to stretch. And what they're saying is that they want not transactions but true, honest interaction. And from this point, we can say that companies need employees who are engaged, but also employees who are thriving in their overall life, because only then those employees have an energy, have a power, they're agile, they're innovative, and they can bring something for themselves and for the company. And what about the leader? Honestly, I was thinking a lot about this. And first of all, the leaders are human beings. And as Simon Sinek said, and you're probably reading this quote, the leader's responsibility is to take care of the people so people can take care of the business. I fully agree. But also, I would add that leaders must first take care of themselves, because this change brought a lot to them. And what is expected from the employee's point of view, and I see it as a non-negotiable stuff, is that employees expect and need compassion. And for leaders to be able to give a compassion, they must be well-grounded themselves. So basically, we need leaders who are, yes, inspiring and yes, motivating, but they have compassion. And also, they're not motivating the actions done during the day, or if you're on or not, but they're managing the results. And they're not managing the transaction, they're managing relations. And in that manner, I would say that we need to develop leadership competences to help them to bring more empathy and to help them to develop the culture in which we focus more on culture and connections. And also, what is really important, that we must think about upskilling our leaders from bosses to coaches, because only coaches will be able to bring to the table the well-being topic in the person itself. And when I was thinking about this topic, and it's very important for me personally, I was thinking, yes, the previously described leader is enough from the point of view that he will help people and team and companies go through the crisis. But is that leader enough to help people to be creative and to create a fundamental for people to be innovative and to be creative in problem solving, which is everything what companies need? And then I remembered that there is a beautiful theory I really loved a lot. That theory is from the distinguished professor of leadership and organizational behavior from IMD Business School, which is George Cochleaser. And he's saying that a secure-based leader is caring as a basis for daring. And it's such a beautiful quote, but there are a lot of tasks for the leader behind it. Why? Because first of all, the secure-based leader is one who is calm and grounded. And you know why? Because like for people to feel really secure and safe, you must project that state of calm. And also, that is the leader who accepts and values the individual. And that is really authentic place from where it's coming. So basically, it's non-judgmental and very accepting. And what is very important, accepting what somebody is saying is really different than accepting their opinion. So like there is something to think about. Also, what is very important, that those leaders should be emotionally available and accessible. And there is a thought that bonding is, let's say, one of the core competencies for the effective leader. Because like we know from the behavioral economy that we are emotional beings, and leaders are emotional beings. And on the other side, you have employees who are too. And they need to connect, not just on a relational and rational level, but also on emotional level. What is also very important for the leaders to see the potential in every individual. Why? Because every individual has some potential. And if we see something which employees are not seeing, we will help them to see that also. Also, it's important to be very curious about the people, and also to help people to think about the positive and about what will bring them in the future. And also try to motivate people through an intrinsic motivation, because basically, after so many researchers, we now very well know that people are motivated with individual growth opportunities, with the purpose, with meaning, with learning, not that much with the paycheck and the possibility for promotion. And with what I wanted to wrap up this session is that, yes, engagement, employee engagement changed, and it's changed and challenged, because we must help leaders and employers to see that it's not only about the employee engagement, but that it's also about having an employee who are thriving in everyday lives. The second thing is that I strongly believe that this is the chance for us, for higher leaders, to bring this topic on very high level of the agenda of our companies, to revise or to create our engagement strategies in order to support what we were saying previously. And one of the core things which I was thinking about after the discussion is that, like, we really need to be authentic and honest about the measuring approach, because like if we want to create a culture of engagement and well-being, we must first ask the right questions. So what is really relevant for us and what will influence our outcomes? And also listen to hear what you need to change, because if you change things, maybe you will create a cultures in which employees would like to work for and would be proud to work for. And as a conclusion of today's session, I would say that we are in a new employee engagement era, and that new era is personalized, is authentic, is inclusive, but all above human. That's all for me, Peter.
And I love how you at the beginning told us or shared with us, it's very much like the cha-cha-cha. Although I didn't know the cha-cha-cha is a mixture between rumba and mamba, but apparently, but definitely you need passion for that. If you don't have it, you can't do it. I mean, you could do the cha-cha-cha without passion, but it wouldn't look good, it wouldn't feel right either. But it's kind of got me thinking as well. And also, excuse me, you mentioned that there's about 25% of companies that really don't even have an engagement strategy, right? So if you were companies that are listening to you right now, if you was to give them like 2 ideas or 3 ideas to just think of to get them thinking about that engagement strategy that they don't have yet, what would you say? So a company that doesn't have any strategy at all, what would you say they need to start thinking of today? What would you say?
I would say think about what you like, what you have in this moment, and think about what you don't like and what you want to change for the future. And really believe that the power is in the engaged people. So if you believe that the power is in the engaged people, then you will ask people where we want to be. Because as I mentioned, like this is the moment where we all figured out that everything what happens outside of the work hugely influences the work itself, but we still have people. And what is really core is to step back, to listen. First of all, ask people the right questions. So ask what you want to know for your future success, because there is one really interesting thing is that businesses in the future will probably not be qualified and measured based on the profits itself, but also on the effect they have on people and on communities, and that is huge. So like look at your people and think where you want to be together with them. So something like that.
Yeah, no, it's what you're saying there as well, that I love that phrase in terms of the value of a company. What's the value of a real company? Naturally, profits, the financial side is important, but more and more it's about the value of how the teams are feeling, how we all feel and approach what we do on a daily basis. We've got a question come through. What do you think should be the primary characteristic of a good leader who can actually integrate all of the engagement strategies you've mentioned so far? So in characteristic of a good leader who has all these strategies of a good leader.
Yeah. First of all, you need to inspire. Please try that you do with the purpose, and also be positive. So direct your mind's eye on positive, because negativity is so demotivating. So that's the first thing what I would say. Also, be compassionate. If you don't know, learn the empathy part. But it's so important, because I know so many leaders who are still struggling with accepting that for them, it is important what is happening in outside of the work life for the people. So in order for you to be able to think about their well-being and everything, try to be compassionate and try to be empathetic as much as possible. And also bond. I honestly believe that the bonding is true high-level competence of the effective leader, because the bonding brings to you a lot. So you will talk with people, you will hear people, you will be able to think together with people. And that is something which is important for you as a leader, but most importantly, it's important for your people.
Right. So that mindset, that bonding, the empathy, that's a constant stream throughout our sessions already today. All these important characteristics of a good leader to take this engagement forward. Listen, Anja, thanks so much for sharing your insights, and we look forward to one day all together doing the cha-cha-cha, mamba and rumba together. Thank you.
I will be there for sure.
Wonderful.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you so much.